Cornell Notes, Why Learn How? Have you ever watched a movie and forgotten the plot? Have you ever read a book and forgotten the names of the characters? Have you ever listened to a song and later realized you only paid attention to the tune and not to the words? Details have a way of fading, and when concentration is not applied, memories have a way of not being formed. In other words, memory fades when it's not repeated, and information is missed when we do not focus. In this video, we will explore a method on how to focus in order to notice details and how to ensure we clearly maintain those details, memories, and understanding. This method is called Cornell Notes, and this video is the first part of a 6-part series on Cornell Notes. This video explores the why of Cornell Notes. Why should we learn how to take Cornell Notes? Different people learn in different ways. Not all note-taking systems work for everyone. This is not a miracle note-taking system. It's just one of many resources that exist. And I want you to practice to see whether or not it works for you. Perhaps there are some aspects that you find helpful, and maybe there are some parts that don't align with your way of learning. But we will explore, practice, and use the Cornell Note system in depth over the course of the semester so that you can establish what, if any, components of this organized and systematic note-taking system work for you. It's just one of the many systems that is effective and helpful to many people. But it's important to note that there are limitations on any strategy, and Cornell Notes may or may not work for you. So it's important you reflect on your own learning process. Why do I say this method works? In what ways does it work for some? Have you ever been in a situation in class where the professor has spoken too quickly? Cornell Notes helps with listening strategies in certain situations or contexts. Cornell Notes are not going to be super helpful in contexts such as communicating when you're at the store, or talking to your doctor, or enrolling for a class online, but it will help in other contexts, such as face-to-face class lectures, remote Zoom sessions, watching academic videos or lectures for online courses. Cornell Notes can provide a strategy to help you process a lot of information given at a fast rate of speed in these types of situations. Cornell Notes encourages shortcut techniques, abbreviations, symbols, and telegraphic notes. It helps with your listening skills in other ways too, because with this system you practice attending to important details, concepts, and information from a talk. How else does it work? It promotes study skills. I will talk about 3 ways Cornell Notes promote study skills: organization, focus, and review. Have you sometimes found that your notes are unorganized or difficult to understand? Or do you sometimes not even take notes? The Cornell note-taking method is a systematic process and structure for organizing your notes. Cornell Notes also promotes concentration. Concentration is an essential component. When we take Cornell Notes, we focus on details, concepts, ideas, and examples. We actively listen for these items. Barbara Oakley tells us that in order to learn something well, we need to alternate between the diffuse mode and the focused mode. Taking part in writing Cornell Notes is a form of concentration and hence an opportunity to engage in the focused mode. Cornell Notes also promotes review after the original note-taking process is completed. We all know how important it is to review. Lydia Machova talks about the spaced repetition method in language learning. Oakley talks about the neuroscience on how reviewing moves information from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. Through Barbara Oakley's text, Learning How to Learn, we've learned that working memory generally holds 4 pieces of information and that in order to move information from short-term to long-term memory, one needs to repeat and practice. By writing Cornell notes, we can create a framework of information that can be accessed repeatedly in order to review information so that it becomes part of our long-term memory. And that can guide us on studying for a test. It provides an opportunity to reflect on your understanding of the content. In one step of Cornell notes, you go back to your notes to identify the key concepts of the lecture, but you also reflect on gray or murky areas that you don't fully understand. When you find those areas of confusion or doubt, you can then formulate questions that come to your mind and fill in your notes with information that you can ask your professor, your peers, or even yourself. In the next videos, we will see what Cornell notes look like, how to form them, and we'll dive deep into how to complete a summary for Cornell notes for this class. We'll also explore common errors with Cornell notes and how to fix them or avoid them altogether. In conclusion, Cornell notes are one of many systems of note-taking. Their purpose is to help retain information. We include a lot of shortcuts in Cornell notes. And Cornell notes help with study skills through organization, focus, and review.